Ready?
Yeah.
Grand Rising and good morning, beautiful people. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Zestful Living with Sweet Tea Morning Show. Now, this is where we rise and shine and we start our day on purpose and with purpose and for the purpose of having an attitude of gratitude. I am your host, Latanja Millhouse, aka Sweet Tea, your number one hype woman, and your biggest reminder that today you get another opportunity to live zestfully, boldly, and unapologetically you. But the question is, can you feel it? Do you hear it? Can you see it? And do you know it? It's a brand new day. Can you feel a brand new day? Can you feel a brand new day? It's a brand new day and another opportunity, as I have mentioned, for you to live your life zestfully, boldly, and unapologetically you. As we prepare for our gratitude journals, we're just reminded about all of the things that we have that we should be grateful for. And if you don't have anything to write in or write on, you can, of course, call to mind these particular questions for yourself to answer, as this is going to be a prompt question. And of course, this is something that we can do for you on Monday, as it is gratitude for growth. Think about something that challenged you recently, a hard conversation, a setback, an unexpected change. What is one thing that difficulty taught you about yourself that you could not have learned any other way? And here's the prompt question. Finish this sentence. I am grateful for that struggle because it showed me I am the kind of woman who, or of course, the kind of man. If you like, you can drop your answer in the comments section if you'd like to do that. And so what we can do is, of course, that we can go ahead and answer the question and do this together if you like. Before we get started, I'd like to be able to introduce you all to our guests today, as this is going to be a new segment that we're going to be doing on Mondays. This is your Dream Doula, my daughter, Osha Cerese, that's joining us here on Mondays. Hi, Osha.
Hello, Mother, aka Sweet Tea.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. And how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Happy Monday.
Can you see him?
Let's see here. Do we need to angle?
Maybe so. See if we can.
I'm scared. It's set up perfectly.
Well,
Let's see.
okay, so that
Got your
one's
drink?
more on,
Okay.
not on. All right. And so before we get into the gratitude journal part of it, let's go ahead and let everyone know who you are, Asha. And what is a Dream Doula, actually?
Well, greetings and happy Monday, everyone. I'm Osha Cerese, and a Dream Doula. I don't know if anyone is familiar with what a doula is, but a doula is someone who supports, it depends on what kind of doula it is. So there's labor doulas, there's postpartum doulas, there's even death doulas. And there's someone who will support the individual client on their transition, something transformative. So a labor doula is going to support a client with giving birth.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the midwife, they're not the doctor, so it's non-medical, but they're going to be the support system. They're going to give them remedies to ease the pain. They're going to be there with them to walk them through the process.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have meetings with them prior to it happening so that they can come up with a birth plan. They're going to be an advocate for the family, for the mother, to try to ensure that her birth plan is put in place and kept in place as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just going to be there to support them every way through. Postpartum doula support after the baby is born. They help with the transition from coming from the hospital or the birthing center or wherever, or having the baby at home to, getting used to.
Yeah.
getting used to being at home. They help with the baby, they help with the breastfeeding, all of the things. Death doulas will support someone who's transitioning, like in hospice care or something like that. So when it comes to being a dream doula, I support women, mostly men as well, but I support individuals on birthing their vision into life. So birthing their dream life. I focus on life, love, and business. When it comes to supporting someone with life, I am a certified life coach. So supporting them with healing, self-discovery, self-love, any type of life transitions that's going on, whether they are healing from heartbreak. Well, that's under the love category. Love will be healing from heartbreak, divorce, toxic relationships, or I also support with intentional dating. So I have a business where I curate singles events. I also have a collaborative event series called Cowboy Cupid that I do with Latrice Monet. And we also bring singles events to the Atlanta area as well. And then business, I support people with like content strategies, content plans, even some design with ebooks and web design, and just supporting them with purpose and how to utilize and monetize their gifts. So there's a huge umbrella as to what I do. I want to make sure your sign is showing.
They see mine every day. And that's a really good way to look at the fact that, and it's almost like a cliche, but you make dreams come true.
Okay.
You're making these dreams come true. And for
Absolutely.
many people, in terms of the clarity and how to organize, as Dad and I talk about being organized. And welcome, Dad. Thank you so much for being here. As it is 5 a.m. there in Cali, and Dad always supports his daughter, me, every single day. And welcome to everyone there that has joined us and peeping in there in the TikTok land. And that is really a great thing that you're doing when it comes to the dreams, because many people don't have the organization, especially in their mind. You know, things are cluttered in terms of what you want to do and how you want to do it and where do you start, how do you go about it. And it seems that you fit right in that area where people can just bring it over to you and you will take care of it. You will help them along their journey of discovering what it is that they actually want to do, because many of us have tons of ideas. And you can't put legs on all of them. And so that's what is going to be great. And we'll talk a little bit more about it. Asha, I'm so proud of you as a mom.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom.
Yeah, I'm a proud mother here. And so let's look at once again, and welcome, Asha. Welcome, everyone. Let Asha know that this is going to be something that we will bring to you on Mondays with Asha and I. We will do this on Mondays. So let's go ahead and look at, would you like to participate in the journal prompt for today? As it says,
I'm not writing it down, but I was listening. So I kind of have an idea.
You have an idea in your head there. Okay, once again, think about something that challenged you recently, a hard conversation, a setback, an unexpected change. What is one thing that difficulty taught you about yourself that you could not have learned any other way? Now, this is the prompt question. Finish this sentence. I am grateful for that struggle because it showed me I am the kind of woman who. And what do you all think about that? You can make your comments in the comments section. I will just jot mine down really quickly here so that I can participate right along with you. Okay, and as everyone knows, the sweet tea don't get personal, but I will kind of share what I have written today in terms of just filling in the prompt question, because this is just what I'm feeling like today. I'm feeling like being in a sharing mood. And so let's see. The prompt question is, I am grateful for that struggle because it showed me I am the kind of woman who, and I says, who faces all challenges, concerns, and circumstances head on. Because as I have learned during the spiritual warrior training that I had in July of 2020, when COVID happened, I took a spiritual warrior training with the Reverend Dr. Yana Van Zant. And one of the things that we did in here is that we talked about the gratitude journal. And I always share with you all, if it is nothing that you can think about, to be grateful, because we did the God memorandum 100 days straight that you read. And if you missed a day, you had to start all over again. And one of the things that it talked about is the fact that you have the ability to see, the ability to hear, the ability to think, the ability to reason, the ability to speak, and of course, the ability to walk. And we know many people struggle in that area. And then when we're talking about facing something, that's the point I wanted to bring up also, is doing the shadow work, where you look at some of the things that has happened in your life and in your past or whatever it is, and you don't have any shame about it. You confront it and you deal with it head on. Mm-hmm. As my dear mother would tell me, don't run from it, face it. And so how do you think about that, Osha, facing the things head on? And you know all about the shadow work, and how does that work with a dream doula? Does that, any of that come up in your discovery calls?
Not necessarily in my discovery calls. Discovery calls are just an opportunity for us to see if we're aligned to work with each other. But in our sessions, shadow work is definitely one of the things that comes up, because, you know, when it comes to life coaching, it's mainly supposed to be about supporting individuals with what they want to do in the future, like helping them get a plan of action, helping them stay accountable for what it is that they're trying to do, setting goals, you know, adjusting the strategies and things of that nature. But because I'm a holistic spiritual woman as well, I like to also get to the root of things. So I'm not a therapist, but I do feel like everything is rooted in some place, rooted in childhood, rooted in the past. So I do encourage shadow work, because it allows them to, among other things, inner child healing, just a lot of different methods that we go through, but shadow work specifically, just seeing where you need to be held accountable, or where are some areas in your life where you're not always coming from the most loving or lightest perspective. And it just allows people to really understand themselves. So that's all a part of the self-discovery journey.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And I know that one of the biggest things when you're talking about accountability, who actually wants to be accountable for the things that they do? I find that is something that many people steer away from when it comes to accountability, because it's easy to look at someone else. It's easy to see what someone else didn't do or are doing, or whatever the case, need to fix. As Dad would tell me, if it's anything that you don't like in your life, fix it. Welcome, my dear sis, Miss Fifi, all the way from Tallahassee, Florida. I have Osha Cerese, my daughter, here with us today. On Mondays, we're going to be doing this each and every Monday. And so welcome, and so glad that you're here. And so that is self-accountability is a big piece, Osha. I'm not sure. I mean, this is something that goes on in life in general, from relationships, friendships, all of the ways in which we sail on these ships. Someone is not being accountable for their actions.
Yeah. And, you know, that's when it comes to developing your emotional intelligence. Like, in order to heal, in order to resolve all this movement, honey,
girl,
I got to get used to being in sweet teas land. Woo, child.
Yeah, she's just I constantly moving.
This one here shuffles.
Yes.
But when it comes to healing, when it comes to conflict resolution, when it comes to healthy communication, and just being in relationship with someone, starting with the relationship you have with yourself, accountability supports you with your ability to be self-aware, because the only time people really push back on accountability is when they're not that self-aware. Because if you are, and you're able to reflect on your own actions, and you're able to, you know, do a scan of what it is that's going on in your life, you're able to be like, well, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or I did get upset and it's due to this, or I didn't express that correctly and I can apologize. I can see where I'm wrong. But when you're not self-aware and you don't want to take a moment to reflect on yourself and your own actions, that's when somebody brings an issue to you and all of a sudden you're extra defensive, you're in denial, you can't see it.
Yeah.
Because you don't even know yourself. You haven't even taken the time to get to know yourself and realize that's where that shadow work comes in. And you're not perfect.
Yeah.
You don't have all the answers. You may not do everything right. You have your own triggers. You have things that come up.
Yeah.
You might not express yourself in the best way every time. And it's okay. You're human. So it's not, being accountable doesn't necessarily mean you're the villain in the story. It just means you're not the victim. And neither party doesn't have to be the victim. It just means that you're not always right. And you have the opportunity to fix it or to apologize or correct whatever it is.
Right.
It's not an attack.
It's not an attack, and being accountable for it. And this is some of the areas that we talk about here daily when it comes to mothers feeling as if it's selfish to put their needs first. And you may find yourself as a caregiver or wife, whatever area in your life where you're constantly pouring into other people and neglecting your own needs. And you may feel as if it's a selfish act to pour into yourself first. And so this is some of the things that we look at also. And so when I say that train is rolling in and it's time for you to get on board, this is the area that I'm talking about. It's time for you to release the resentment, the bitterness, the hatefulness, the unforgiveness, all of the strongholds that have a grip on your life. And so as the train is rolling in, and we know that those strongholds are all of the negative experiences that you may have encountered, perhaps childhood trauma, sexual abuse, or whatever the case, abandonment, all of these different issues you're holding on to, the resentment and all of those things. And so the strongholds, of course, are the negative experiences that are causing the unhealthy memories. And because they're causing the unhealthy memories, that's where we have to take accountability, as you're pointing out, Osha, and face these kinds of things. And so now that the train is rolling in, it's time for you to get on board. People all over the world, join in. Join this love train, love train. People all over the world, join in. Join this love train, love train. And that's
so
the whole point.
When this show blows up, we're going to have to get some new theme songs because we don't need nobody coming at us for no copyright.
That's the copyright.
Because I hear several songs in the show.
Absolutely. And thank you to the mighty, mighty, mighty OJs for that. And see, the whole point of it is we do not own the copyrights. And one of the things about it is we must learn to train ourselves how to love ourselves. And when was the last time any of us have done that? Especially as a caregiver and a mother and those that are constantly pouring into other people. You forget about yourself. And like I always say, sis, I see you. I see the struggles that you have when it comes to knowing who you are anymore. A lot of people, Osha, lose themselves in their roles. And this is why I have in my stand store 5 signs you've lost yourself in your roles and how to reclaim you. It's all about finding your way back home to you. Now here comes another song.
I got one. Gotta find my way back to you.
Yeah. Gotta find my way back to you, baby.
Now what song was you about to sing?
When I think of home.
Oh Lord, her favorite.
I think of a place.
Don't let her start crying.
Where there's love overflowing. And so that's what it is, finding your way back home to you. And that also brings up the part of the Wiz in The Wizard of Oz. She was always looking, Dorothy that is, for her way back home. She got lost. And when it came at the end, because we all know the story, she said, you always had the ability to go home. You mean to tell me, ma'am, you waited for the 2 hours of this whole entire show to tell me at the end that I could always find my way back home? She said, click your heels 2 times, or was it 3? The point of it is home is within you. That safe place is within you. And so all of us are finding our way back home through all of the haze and maze. And I'm sure as a dream doula, you help people find their clarity,
Absolutely.
which is also a way to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
Always positive. You make me smile within. Well, thank you, my dear sis, Miss Fifi.
Yeah.
And so how do they get the clarity with that kind of thing when we're talking about finding your way back home to you?
Well, I was just thinking as you were talking about the Wizard of Oz or the Wiz, that's what a journey is about. Because, you know, sometimes if someone comes to you in the beginning and they feel lost and they feel confused and they don't have the answers and they're stressed out and they're struggling, it does require them to go on a journey of healing, a journey of self-discovery, a journey of spiritual awakening, a journey of just self-love in order to have these realizations. So the fairy godmother or whoever told her, who told her? I'm talking about fairy godmother like we in Cinderella.
Glinda, the good witch.
The good witch who gave her these answers didn't give them to her, like you said in the beginning of the story. She had to go on a journey. She had to have certain realizations. She had to have her own insecurities and self-doubt reflected back on her on this journey. So it was almost like the Tin Man and the Scarecrow and the Lion were almost like mirrors for her. They were like her life coaches to show her, reflect back to her what she was putting out. She was feeling lost and confused and fear because she wasn't home. She felt like she was out of place. She didn't know where she was. And she had to see that here's this lion who says he don't have any courage, but he's doing all of these courageous things throughout the whole process. It's like, what are you talking about? The Scarecrow saying he don't have a brain, but he's making all type of strategic decisions.
Right.
And the Tin Man is saying that he doesn't have a heart when he is one of the most compassionate ones on the journey.
Exactly.
So it required her to go on the journey to be able to have the realization or to be able to even receive what Glinda the Good Witch was saying to bring her back to herself. So in terms of the clarity calls or the sessions that we have, my clients are not always going to come to me with the answers, or maybe they do, but they don't necessarily believe them, or they're having a hard time receiving them, or whatever the issue is. So we go on a journey together in order for them to have the realization. So anytime you have a coach or a therapist or any type of wellness advisor, healer that you're working with, really the main goal is for them to support you on becoming your own healer, support you on becoming equipped with the tools that you need to, have the realizations yourself. It's not, we can offer you some answers as far as what do we see and offer you some tools, but ultimately it's going to come down to your own realizations, and that's going to require you to do the work on the journey.
I like that. In terms of the Wiz and the Wizard of Oz, there's always two versions, okay? And so when you're talking about the mirrors as a reflection so that people will be able to see themselves as she went on this journey to rediscover who she is, in terms of knowing that all of the friends that she met was a reflection of herself, being able to have the courage and also to know that you always have your ability to reason and think as a brain is. And then you have the heart and the compassion. And one of the things I was going to bring up, she was dreaming the entire time, as in the Wizard of Oz, when she had awakened with all of those that was on the farm, that she noticed that they were there as the lion's character and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow were workers on the farm with her in the Wizard of Oz. And so she had awakened from a dream that she was having. And this is something that took her on a journey as you go on these dreams, and that you're in a different world.
Your girl was lucid dreaming.
She was lucid dreaming. And so she was in a different world as it was that she was discovering herself along the way. Many of us have a lot of fears to be able to face them. And I myself, as I would say, me, myself personally, as my brother would say, found the courage within me, as it is my dear daughter, Osha Cerese here, suggested that I start Zestful Living with Sweet Tea Morning Show. And I have always have said, I don't talk that much. And she said, really?
Oh, can I cuss in the morning?
Okay, sure, you can cuss in the morning. Is that right? Because again, it just seems like I have more courage as we face the fear. So all of us, in other words, can find these characters within us, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and of course, the lion that is within us as we awaken from a dream. And so that just brought up something as you being a dream doula, to know that Dorothy, as she looked out for her little dog, Toto, and don't get it twisted, Toto had a role in that whole entire movie.
Toto was a spirit guide.
Toto was the spirit guide. Honey, she kept up with Toto that whole entire time. And that little old puppy deserves an Academy Award and Oscar for his role, because he was running, he listened, and he kept his cues, because again, they were in a dream as she was dreaming in terms of some of the things that she had to face in her home life, and to be able to rediscover who she is on this journey, as you're talking about a journey. And so in my opening song, as I talk about a brand new day, recall in The Wiz, when the Wicked Witch of the West, she sat on a throne, which was a commode. And she had all of the workers inside of the factory, and that they were working, and she did not. She said, don't nobody bring me no bad news. That's what she had, a whip. She was one of these that are in abusing your authority in some cases, some people that have that power. But one of the things that happened as she had taken little Toto, and I don't know what she was going to do with him, but then, of course, that sparked Dorothy to pour some water on her, and she got flushed down the commode, because I guess she didn't like water.
I just got another.
She didn't like water, and that water flushed her away.
Were there 3 witches on her journey?
Yes, I believe there was one in the beginning.
And that was the one that landed, the house landed on her? Who did she represent?
That was the sister that she inadvertently dropped the house on the Wizard of Oz.
So there was the good witch, the bad witch, and who was that?
Well, that was one of the witches, I believe, that they were talking about. That was Dorothy in a reflective way, that she probably had. There was no other. I think she had a title, but I believe in the reflection part of it, it was looking at herself, that she dropped the house on herself and lost herself in that way.
So it says in the Wiz, Dorothy's house lands on and kills a Dapperal. Oh, the Wicked Witch of the East.
Of the East. Okay.
This iconic moment kickstarts her journey down the yellow brick road when the Good Witch of the North, Miss One, gifts Dorothy the magical silver slippers.
And then the one that was in the bad one was the West. So the sun rises in the East, right? The sun rises in the East. Yes. And so that is almost like, and then the North Star.
Because I was thinking at first, before I remembered that there was a third witch, which was really the first witch. I was thinking that the good witch could have represented her higher self, and the bad witch could represent her lower self. Right.
And so she killed the lower self when the house fell on her.
But what about the mean one?
The mean one is the one that in a lot of ways is that courage that we all have to be able to stand in our convictions. Because as she went on, don't nobody bring me no bad news, and she got flushed down the commode. And all of a sudden, the sun started peeping in the factory, as it was one of those sweatshops, that everything started to peel away. All of the heavy layers in the mask that everyone was wearing started to peel away as the song came on. Can you feel a brand new day? Can you feel a brand new day? As we allow the new day to come in, we can release ourselves of the resentment and the bitterness and the confusion and the unsettled feelings that we may have. to find our way back home to ourselves, to have the clarity of mind. And so it's a good journey that we all find ourselves. And what is it that Michael Jackson, rest his soul, may he rest peacefully and heavenly, when he was able to get down off of the pole that he was on and they made fun of him.
Me and my aunt Star, we was watching The Wiz when we were younger. We just kept rewinding this particular scene back because it was just so hilarious to us as kids. But when Michael Jackson was up on the, on the stake or whatever they call what he's posted up on.
Yeah.
The scarecrows came messing with him, and he was like, "Is today the day you're going to help me get down so I can walk around in my garden?" And one of the crows was like, "Walk? You can't walk." And we was like, "Dang, that's messed up." Like, he all sweet and just trying to get a little help so he could walk around and enjoy his garden that he watches over. And here y'all are trying to talk stuff to him and saying he can't even walk. But
making fun of him and everything of that nature. And
but I wanted to just revisit what you were just saying about the bad witch. I still do think that in some ways she represents the lower self or the shadow witch. Self.
Okay.
Because like you said, when she finally did stand up to her and address her head on, and she did the work to rid everyone of this,
right?
Then you said everyone's mask came off,
right.
So it just like it revealed the real everyone, and everyone was able to drop the mask, which could represent the representative, could represent masking, like people mask their true feelings or whatever,
right? And
then they were able to rejoice and become anew. So I think that's symbolic as well.
That become anew. I like that. And so, Osha, this is the time where we look at some hot topics as it is on this time that we do.
I thought we was going to talk about the ways in which we're doing well.
Oh, okay. Let's bring that up. That's a part of the topic. Go ahead. You want to keep it?
So because this is Zestful Living with Sweet Tea, and you as a certified health coach / life coach, talk about women prioritizing their needs and, not being afraid to have self-care and self-love. I wanted to ask, where do you feel right now that you're doing really well when it comes to prioritizing yourself? And what areas do you feel that you could use some work?
Well, as Ronald Reagan would say, I believe that this particular show, as it is, allowing me to be on point and on time each and every morning, Monday through Friday, as my dear sis, Miss Fifi, suggested that we come back Monday through Friday. But it helps me to be able to stay focused on some of the things that I'm doing well. I'm also finding the courage within me as I'm learning a great deal of techniques on a project that I'm working on with some sewing and things that I'm doing. And I'm giving myself some grace that I'm learning how to be patient with myself, as I suggest that you all do that as well. So being patient with myself is helping me to know that this area I'm building strength. And so again, I know that Dad tells me that I sing well, so don't be surprised if I break out in song. Oh, you don't have to blow. I'm not going to do that right now.
I didn't say nothing.
But yeah, that is something that I feel good about. And we're talking about that lion that I have to find the lion within, as Osha Cerese, my daughter here, is a Leo.
Big Leo.
And so that courage perhaps comes naturally for her in a lot of ways. And so the area that I can work on is, I believe, just not being concerned about the outcome in terms of how things are going to turn out. Is this the right route and the right road and the right path? Just trust it, and trust in that intuition that guides me along the way. But I can do better in that area. Okay. What about you?
I think right now I'm doing really well in the area of preparation, because it's really easy for me to support people on their path and their dream and hold space for them and get them prepared with strategies and all these things. But when it comes to my own platforms and my own content, it could be a little overwhelming because I have so many ideas and I don't have a dream doula, because I am the dream doula. So it's easy to, support other people, but when it comes to myself, it can be a little challenging. And I feel very confident and excited about how prepared I am for this month and my strategy for this month. Really excited about that. And I feel like I'm proud, I'm doing well in that area of just preparation and strategy for myself. And the area that I can improve in is rest. I'm always a night owl. I've been a night owl since I was a child. I thrive even when it comes to doing work at night, or, I just like staying up late. But late for me normally is like by 3 a.m. I'll go to sleep. But lately I've been kind of falling into my winter type schedule, because sometimes during the winter, during the hibernation months, I allow myself to just, have whatever schedule I'm going to have, because those are the months where you're just supposed to relax and retreat and kind of, catch up on your movies and your shows and things like that. But lately, for the past couple of weeks, and maybe it goes hand in hand with all the preparation that I've been doing for June, I've been up to like 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock. 6, 7, like kids say. Like literally when I'm going to sleep, I'm seeing the sun and I'm seeing hearing the birds chirping. And yesterday I went to sleep at like 8:20 a.m. because I was editing and just doing certain things and getting my ideas, getting them in line or whatever it is that I'm doing. I'm usually doing some type of work. Sometimes I'm just watching podcasts and up doing something, scrolling or whatever. But and it's not even just the staying up late, it's also the amount of sleep. Because if I'm staying up late, sometimes I'll have the privilege or the ability to sleep in late. But lately it's like I've been going to sleep late and then only getting like 3 hours of sleep before I have to get right back up, and I've been exhausted. So I can do a lot better when it comes to rest and when it comes to just shutting it down earlier. Because if I was my own client, I would be telling myself, get you a better bedtime routine, and, don't be on them screens that close to the time that you're trying to go to sleep, and be in the bed by a certain time. Okay. I'm not following my own advice when it comes to resting right now.
Well, that is a really good lead-off way to remind yourself about the fact that you have the awareness of mind of the things that you need to do, and you're being accountable for what those things are and how to go about it. And in many cases, as I talk about the fact that we have to be our own best cheerleader and our own best friend. You go, girl, you got this. You go, guy, you got this. That we pour back into ourselves. And that's a good point, that it's almost like a Freudian slip. The fact that you said it is something that a Freudian.
Who?
I don't know.
Freudian.
Thank you. That is something that needs to be done in terms of helping you know the things that you need to do. Have those talks, those self-talks. Now, Diane and I talk about the fact that in many cases we all talk to ourselves, but if you're not talking back and answering that, then that's okay.
Sometimes
safe.
I do. It'd be a different voice. Stuff like when you ask a question to yourself, right? Whenever you answer it, it's a different voice. Like, where did I put my phone? Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Like, who was that?
Okay, so then, well, there you have it. There you have it. And so once again, I believe that's a good way of reflecting upon some of the things that we can do, that we know what we need to offer for ourselves, is what I'm saying. So that self-talk, be sure you give yourself that pep talk also. And if you have to boost yourself up to be a little bit more stronger about it, this is what we're going to do tonight. We got a schedule. We're going to go do this, as if you are your own client. Okay. Yeah. And so this is the hot topics that we will select from. Asha, you want to select one?
Sure.
Randomly, and so some of them, if it says the dad question, we'll save it for that.
What's one thing you're ready to release today that you've been holding on to since last year? That's a good one. It's really good because we had a full moon last night, like a blue moon, and you're supposed to release on a full moon. So am I answering first, or you?
You can answer it, and you can do it in a general sense, or if this is really a direct question about us personally, I take it.
Well, how do you answer that generally?
You don't. This is part of the sweet tea method. I don't get personal, but that's one of those that I can really get personal about, I guess.
What's one thing that I'm ready to release today that I've been holding on to since last year?
That is a good question.
What have I been holding on since last year? I think let me see, without getting too personal.
Right.
I would just say let me let you go. Let me think.
Okay, because that's really deep. And see, one of the things that happens is that when we're talking about releasing and letting go. And so what's one thing you're ready to release today that you've been holding on to since last year? And of course, it is, for me, one of those things that I do in some cases, holding on to the outcomes. What is the end result? Now, I don't necessarily believe that I've been holding on to that since last year, but it can be something that finds itself coming back around as I, again, build up those courage muscles to be able to know that the journey that I'm on now is the right alignment for me. And so many of us need to have the right fit and the right alignment as we go through all of the turmoil and ups and downs and the circumstances that I shared with you all about myself in the early part of the journal prompt question. And so we're making certain that we're looking at some of the things that I can feel good about myself about when it comes to having the courage to be able to stand in the face of whatever it is that I need to deal with. And a lot of that can kind of go back to the courage and knowing that I'm on the right path on this journey that I'm on right now. And so as that journal prompt question says, that I am grateful for that struggle because it showed me that I am the kind of woman who faces all challenges, concerns, and circumstances head on. And so as long as I don't let, if you want to say fear or whatever that entity is that doesn't want me to continue, I can build that courage muscles. I can build that strength as I have within the source within me that gives me that strength and that extra fortitude and the resilience. So I can let go of all of, in many cases, we hold on to self-doubt and the ability to know that there are things that I can do. As I say all of those things before, you all have heard me. This is something that I can do. I know I can do. So to build up that courage and to build up that strength for me.
I think I'm just going to say, general stress, releasing stress for things that I cannot control.
Okay.
Release 1, 2, 3, release.
Right. And so let's look at another hot topic question. Sweet tea's getting personal. I thought that was a really good reflective question as we've been talking about that today. Okay. When something is bothering you, do you say it or do you go quiet and hope your partner figures it out telepathically?
Both. I will definitely say something, but if I don't feel heard or if I don't feel the resolve, I have got to the point where I'm not going to shut down first as far as like punishing someone with silent treatment. I think the silence comes in at when I don't feel like I'm getting the equal amount of effort to resolve it and I'm tired of talking. So I just be quiet. But I just said this 2 days ago to my homegirl, my energy is too loud to be silent because even if I'm not saying anything, you're going to feel exactly how I'm feeling because my energy is it's big. Oh, it will fill a room. If I'm upset, whatever I'm feeling, mostly the upset energy is huge. It's going to fill a room.
Wow. And I see what you're saying, Miss Fifi. You say, I will say something. I also am a little bit on both of those spectrums when it comes to not saying anything, and I have to learn how to have that voice that will share what it is that I'm feeling. And as I get that strength and that courage within me, I believe that I will be able to say something. Normally, I'm quiet because I don't like the confrontations. I don't like any debating. I don't like arguing. And so when I say, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer, it helps me to choose my words carefully because they have been known to cut. As many of us have that ability to really say some hurtful things, and many people do that. And so it's like that, and I talk about when you say it, you can't take it back.
Right.
And so be careful with the things that you say. So to be quiet, and nowadays people are more invested, as I am, in your peace. And so would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? And so in many cases at this point in time, I'm not going to debate. Now, there have been times where I have to defend myself. And so when I defend myself, it's not saying that I'm going back and forth, as many people say, we're not going to go back and forth. But I do need to really be able to correct the matter when you're speaking about moi. I have to be able to correct someone if you're saying something that is not true.
Right.
But I can let you go on and on and on, as my mother would say, let them talk. Because again, sometimes people don't know you in terms of who you are now. They may be speaking to someone that they used to know way back when. And so when you're talking about things, you can address it if someone wants to bring up something that happened way back when. That's when the shadow work comes in. And I can face whatever it is that someone wants to share about me if they say, if they know something. I can address it. Yes, I did that. Oh, yeah, that happened. But when something is bothering you, do you say it or do you go quiet and hope your partner figures it out telepathically? As many of us ladies wonder if the man is emotionally unavailable. No, sweetie, he's tired. He's had a long day of work. He doesn't feel like talking. He needs some of that. What do you call that time to
Decompress?
He needs to decompress from the day and the workload. So just give him a moment.
This is a good one. Family loyalty is real, but when does loyalty become enabling, and how do you know the difference? Well, let me read it again. Family loyalty is real, but when does loyalty become enabling, and how do you know the difference? I think with any dynamic, you have to have boundaries. I always say, when it comes to the question of love or loyalty or respect or loyalty that people like to ask, my thing is I'm going to choose love over loyalty. I'm going to choose respect over loyalty because I feel like everyone should be loyal to themselves. And in being loyal to yourself, that doesn't mean that you're disloyal to others, or that doesn't mean that you're a snake or you're doing things wrong. You're loyal to yourself and your own principles and morals. So whatever your principles and morals guide you to do, that's how you should move. If, regardless of the connection, if it's your partner, your family member, or a close friend, if being loyal to them requires you to be disloyal to yourself and your own personal principles and morals, then it sounds like they're not aligned with you in certain ways, and they need to be recategorized in your life or out of your life. And I think that sometimes people get to a point where it's like blind loyalty or toxic loyalty, where you're so loyal to your family and whoever you're loyal to, like I said, they don't even align with your own personal morals and values. So you're trying to prove something to them, or trying to prove your loyalty, prove your alliance or allegiance or whatever the terms are, to a family that maybe doesn't even mean you the best. Like, there's situations where people can allow family to make decisions for them that don't resonate with that person, but because they're so loyal to the family, they'll do that. And I think that sometimes it can become toxic, and it can be enabling when there's family loyalty. Like, say that just for example's sake, and we're women who date men. Say a man is being toxic because his mother is going to be loyal to her son. Oftentimes you'll see mothers enabling the toxic behavior, or if the woman reaches out to the mom for some support, like, your son is doing X, Y, and Z, and, da, da, da. And then she's like covering for him or excusing the behavior because she's loyal to her son. But if she was loyal to her own morals and principles, because she knows she wouldn't want her man doing whatever it is that this man is doing,
Right.
she would speak up, even if she's not going to necessarily speak out to the woman. She would say, she doesn't have to give an opinion about the situation per se, but she could say, well, that's not right. I'll have a talk to him, and not make it seem like it's appropriate. And then what's the other part?
Well, how do you know
the difference? Yeah, I just think utilizing your discernment and your common sense, because sometimes when people are doing things that it doesn't make sense, like being loyal to a fault, and it's not making sense, or it's like I said, enabling toxic behavior, then your discernment or your common sense is going to kick in and be like, yeah, I know that's your friend, or I know that's your family member, or I know that's whoever, but do you feel like that's right? And if they can't 100% say that they think it's right, and they're just standing beside their people because that's their people, then that's when it becomes enabling.
I think you summed that up really well. The only thing that's really a good way to sum that up. And the only thing that I was thinking of course, family loyalty is real. But when does loyalty become enabling? And how do you know the difference? In some cases, when you have that hierarchy that I like to talk about, that chain of command, where you're loyal to those that come before you, because I was raised in a village, if you will, where you have the grandparents and the aunts and uncles and all of the older cousins and siblings, that there is a hierarchy, that there is a loyalty to that. And many people look at that as being their compass in terms of where everyone fits. But if that loyalty in that area of the chain of command doesn't apply to everyone, and you're the one that's being loyal to it, and everyone else is not necessarily on that way. And so when does loyalty become enabling? How do you know the difference? In many cases, if it becomes enabling, does everyone know what their roles are? Because in many cases back in the day, when you talk about someone being your grandparent, they were that. When there were uncles and aunts in my own personal life, they were that. And so many people now have gotten off of that entire thing, that no one is actually being real when it comes to their roles and positions in the family. And so I think it gets a little off. And so you may be enabling someone when it comes to what they should be doing. However, it is not my personal responsibility to have anyone to do something that they don't want to do in terms of their roles and how they identify themselves within the family structure. It can become very, very toxic when you're looking at enabling someone in terms of what they should be doing, because it is not my personal position to have someone to be who they say they are when it comes to these roles and titles in the family and the family dynamic, because many people, depending on the culture that it is, will really hold true to that position in the family. And if they would have to seek elder counsel in terms of what to do next in their lives, it really can become a loyalty thing. And as you pointed out, Osha, with that mother having discernment to know right from wrong, she's going to stand by her son, right or wrong. And that is not fair. Okay, so we have time for one more, I believe, Osha. Very good. Is that one we can answer now?
I think that sounds more like a statement.
Okay.
That's men. What version of yourself are you grieving, and what version of yourself is waiting to be born?
Oh my goodness. Aren't all of these questions similar to one another from the things that we talked about?
It always happens.
Yeah. What version of yourself are you grieving? And what version of yourself is waiting to be born? It's almost like the Wiz in that area where she says it's a brand new day. And, can you feel a brand new day? That is the part that is waiting to be born, that new version of me that is going to be cold, as I say, that they called me TC back in high school, and it stood for too cold. Y'all ain't ready for too cold. And the sweet tea version, that new version that's coming about from all of the ways in which I've been showing up. And so what version of yourself are you grieving? And of course, that part of me that is the innocent, loving little girl, I guess you could say, the little girl in me that always wanted to make everyone else happy and be able to see, as it perhaps back then I was a little empath and I was absorbing everyone's energy, and I was the little one that brought some joy around everyone. So perhaps that version that I'm grieving is that little innocent little part of me that is still there, but she has some boundaries now.
Mm-hmm. I would say I think maybe it's hand in hand. So the version of me that I've been grieving is maybe like the era of my late 20s, maybe, when I was like footloose and fancy free. Everything I was kind of like carefree, had gotten out, being single for the first time in several years, getting out of a marriage and like rediscovering myself, traveling, money was on point, didn't have to worry about a lot of things. I was just outside, and not necessarily grieving being outside per se, like, going out to the club and things of that nature. But I think the sexiness, the carefreeness, the get up and go and not really overthink, and just figuring out a way to make it happen, even if it doesn't seem like it's possible. Because I would go on a trip, it wouldn't matter if I had it or not, I would figure it out, and somehow it would always work out. And I think over time you start developing fears and self-doubt, and you overthinking, and you want to make sure certain areas are perfect before you do this. So I think that version of myself that would just get up and go and make things happen. And I believe she's waiting to be born again, like, tapping into that energy again. And I'm just ready for that. I'm ready to be free in every sense of the word, and just really be in abundance in all areas, abundance of money, abundance of health, abundance of love, abundance of freedom, abundance of stability. And she's almost here. She's here. She's just, working on some things.
Absolutely. And to be born is to resurface, and it is a rebirth when it comes to your dream doula position that you're in. You're actually a part of that journey that all of us are looking to be able to have clarity in our lives. Mm-hmm. And so how did you like today, Osha? Thank you so much, Miss Fifi, for all the likes and loves, 4.2 thousand. Wow. How did you like the show today?
I loved it. I'm not usually up this early on a Monday, but I think that I think it was nice. I really enjoy it. I love talking to you and spending time with you. So I think it's nice to be able to share our mother-daughter dynamic with the world, and because we both support people on their journey, to be able to open up and talk through some things. And I loved it. How did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it as well. I thought that it was just something easy flowing, that it was. And she says, Osha, thank you for your help.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm. And then someone says, I like your hair. And so
I don't know whose hair they're talking about.
It could be. Yeah, okay. It could be. Yes, it could.
Thank you for the compliment.
Yes.
Whoever said that.
And then make sure that you all are looking at, excuse me, what's pouring into your cup this week. And Osha, how could they find you as a matter of fact?
Well, you can find me on all platforms at Osha Cerese. That's OSHACERESE. Right now, I'm really being intentional on growing my YouTube channel. I'm live over there now, but it's Osha Cerese over there. I have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and then my website is stan.store/Osha Cerese. Is it /Osha Cerese or at Osha Cerese?
Probably slash.
I mean, yeah, I was trying to see if there was an at sign before, but it's stan.store/Osha Cerese. And on there, you can find ways to be able to schedule a discovery call with me if you're not sure which service you would benefit from after you look through it and you need a little bit of support on which one to book. You can get a free discovery call. I do have some free tools over there for people who are struggling with imposter syndrome. If there's something that's got you hesitating on really putting some legs on your ideas or putting yourself out there or showing up, maybe you are suffering from imposter syndrome. So it's a tool on there that help you identify which type of imposter syndrome you have and what to do. There's also a heartbreak audit because I do support people on their journey of healing from heartbreak. So if you are currently feeling a little broken, if you're not sure how you're going to move on from this relationship or this transition of the relationship, or you're just needing to identify what's going on with you, there's the heartbreak audit. And then if you are ready to date intentionally, I do have the Intentional Love Collective database on my platform as well. You can find that at my in the link in my bio. So there's that. And then you got the discovery calls. There's sessions that you can book when it comes to supporting you on your journey of healing, self-love, self-discovery, intentional dating, or if you want to strategize and get yourself together for your social media platforms, finding a niche, figuring out how to utilize and monetize your gifts. There's so many different avenues that we can work with you on. And then, of course, I have guided journals and other tools available as well that you can look into. So just visit my Stan store. It's linked on my bio.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And so we want to thank each and every one of you all for joining us today. We will be here again tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And remember, give yourself some grace today and have a good day on purpose. Thank you, Dad, for being here, and all of those in the TikTok land. 4.6 thousand likes and loves. Have a good day on purpose.
Have a great day. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, love. Thank you, Miss Fifi, for all the likes and loves. You all have a good day on purpose.
Thank you, YouTube. Let me see how do I. Thank you all for joining me and Mama. We will be back on Mondays for this segment. This is her Zestful Living with Sweet Tea. And now I'm joining on Mondays for Mama and Me segments. And I hope you all enjoyed that. And I got some things in store for you all coming up this week. So stay tuned.